Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Do you know what's the rudest thing you can say to somebody?
Go on.
Hazard a guess. What do you think is the rudest thing you could say to someone?
I don't know.
Oh, your mind's going there, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't want to say it on camera.
Do you know what I think is the rudest thing you can say to somebody within like a polite sort of setting? You look tired.
Oh.
If you say that to any self-respecting man, woman, or otherwise over 30, you're just saying you're aging terribly.
Shall I never say it to you then?
No.
Okay.
No. You should say it because you lack sympathy towards me. So you acknowledging that I look tired means I'm dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because otherwise you're like, walk it off.
I'm very that.
You are very
I'm
that.
like, okay, what do you want from me?
Yeah, what is that? You tend to flee away from disease.
I'm just such a go-getter.
No, you're not.
I am not a go-getter.
Not in this way.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, I sometimes feel like if I get ill, you're like, oh, so he's diseased, so I need to go and find a new wife.
Yeah, very that. Why not? But that's your feeling. That's not fact.
No,
I think you're making stuff up.
This is a factual feeling.
This is what you're making up in your head. These are conspiracies you are creating. And do you know why? It's because you're jealous of my hair.
Your hair looks really nice.
I'm just saying, viewers at home, if you're watching, I'm like,
got a new wig.
I'm like, it's growing a bit now, and honestly, I am giving Rapunzel.
It's giving install.
You know, is it Rapunzel that lets her hair down?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just letting all my locks down.
She's tangled.
The Prince Charming's gonna climb right up here. I'm Goldilocks, and the three bears are gonna eat me up.
That's why she didn't. That's why they had to cancel the Tangled sequel.
Oh,
because it's happening in real life.
It's because look how long my hair's so long.
Yeah,
like honestly, it's getting in my face.
Yeah,
I'm
literally. Yeah, I didn't fly over to New York. I just grabbed your hair.
It's so difficult.
You flung me over the Antarctic or Pacific.
This maintenance.
The Antarctic.
Do you know? It's giving wig.
It's giving install.
Like I know you are jealous.
I am.
Because you're a drag queen.
I'm bald.
You just
compared to you, I have no hair.
Jealous of my luscious new locks.
Yeah, you've got locks.
I love it. I go to the gym and I'm like,
are you gonna get it braided?
And I'm just like, saying hi to everyone at the gym, fisting each other, and I
don't know what gym you go to, but. You're just there like, hello, brother.
Can I help you with a squat? I've got your back, bro. Oh. Go deeper.
Wow, because your new hair's giving you confidence, isn't it?
It's giving me confidence. It's so.
Wow.
I don't know where to go from here. Anyway.
Wow. See, this is what you should do when I get ill. You should just piss
me. Anyway, I'm not into that kind of thing. Peace, love, and light.
Yeah, I don't think, like, it's giving open relationship.
Yeah.
Or it's giving, like, how can you do that to your partner and then have dinner next to him?
Yeah. But everyone each to their own. I'm not a judgmental person.
I am.
And we go there.
I'm judging everyone.
Period. So I want to talk to you for real because we're recording this in good time to release the situation at hand.
Is it because you recognise me?
Well,
have you seen me on telly?
Were you on telly?
Have you seen me on telly?
So Miss Starlet over here, Miss Diva,
Miss Man.
Let's start from.
Before we say that, how are we not acknowledging our blatant heterosexuality right now? You caught the Knicks game.
Oh, yeah, I'm wearing the Knicks.
And I'm a Bulls fan, apparently.
Yeah, it says Bills on it.
Oh, is it Bills? I'm a Bills fan. Shut up, fisting. I'm a Bills fan. Yeah.
This is why this is why you're doing this?
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely not wearing this because they were cheap.
Listen.
Really?
Listen.
Can we talk about how cheap clothes are in America?
You think I'm going to spend money on clothes?
But it's great.
You think I'm going to spend loads of money on clothes?
It looks really nice. So I have the same vest as you. And I look like a really well-built lesbian in it, don't I? But you look really nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you look really, really nice.
Oh,
good for you.
It's my locks.
Good for you and your gym friends.
Do you know what I mean? Me and my gym bros, we're just doing it.
Yeah,
we're doing bits out there.
You fisters. Anyway,
Anyway,
back to me and my celebrity.
You were a contestant on.
Have you curled your eyelashes?
No, I'm not you.
Nice. Can I curl my
No.
eyelashes? Okay.
No.
I'm going to do it for the next episode.
No.
You're not going to stop.
No, shut up.
Okay.
You're ruining everything.
Okay.
Anywho, Miss Starlet, you were on Blankety Blank. Now, let me give a tiny bit of background before we get into what the hell happened.
Okay.
So, this was last year. You filmed it. I want to give this background.
You're giving clickbait.
Aamir. Oh, yeah.
Like, what happened?
This is,
People are going to be like, was the production nasty?
Yeah, all
what did
that.
Bradley Walsh do?
Yeah. Ooh, well, stick around and find out what Bradley Walsh did. Stick around and find out what production did to my man on Blankety Blank. Stick around and find out what the EastEnders characters and ex-EastEnders characters did to my man on Blankety Blank. They're going to all be what? Exposed.
And I need to give like a shock reaction that we're going to use at the real cover. So you pretend you're shouting, and I'm going to be like, no, you have to pause. It's a screenshot. What are you doing?
Pretend I'm shouting?
You fisting. No. Okay, there we go.
Anywho, I do recommend you watch people.
Yeah. I watch people.
So yeah, what happened? What happened was Blankety Blank auditions open for contestants, and I thought it'd just be so funny. I just sent it to you, and I was like, do you know what? Just audition because it'd be so funny to have.
And what was my response?
You and drag. You were like, no. And I was like, do it. So
because it's work.
Yeah. So you were at a gig and you were backstage at a gig, and I made you send a video in. You sent a video in. You got an audition. They wanted you to come down, and you were like, yeah, can I do it in drag? And you were like, yeah. And you're like, I just want to go and have a laugh. You literally went to have a laugh, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is still a stringent process because, like, TV attracts all sorts of people, shall we say?
It does.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not the beacon of health and well-being, apparently, seeing as though I do drag. But yeah, it was pretty much that. Because there was same production company produces Britain's Got Talent, right? So like, they're lovely people. They're really, really nice people. Mm-hmm. And you saw it, sent it to me. I was headlining a comedy show in Dartfield or Hull. Basically, I was performing in front of a bunch of Tories. And I didn't realize that until I got there. Ooh. And the green room was a hotel room. But I was like, I get a hotel room for the gig.
Yeah.
But then I realized I'm sharing it with everyone. So they were coming in and out. And then I had like a split minute. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this audition. Poor lighting, everything, just camera in front of face. Which is kind of like what a lot of them like. I don't know why. I always feel like you should give them the full production value.
No.
But they don't like that. They want to see the real you. Anyway, so, well, in drag anyway. So I was like, if I'm doing it, I'm going to do it in drag. Otherwise, it's just not worth my while. And we had a few other conversations, and they were like, yeah, sure, fine. You know, they've liked you because they have to build their own contingencies.
Of course.
So, like, I'm not one person. I'm one of many. And even then, I don't even know if I'm the first choice or not, which is completely understandable. And then, just went and recorded it in April. And the production team were lovely. They were really, really nice. It was one of the best times I had. The girls are just so hardworking, and they just, were really accommodating, and they understood, one of the ladies, one of the production staff, she was like, did you need anything steaming? And I said, well, it's a sari. I'm not sure if you've done it before. I can do it myself. And she was like, I have done it before. I know how to do it. You watch, and if you don't like it, you can, add to it yourself. Kind of thing. And then she did it, and it was just perfect. Everything was just brilliant.
So you had a great life.
I had a great time. Bradley was lovely as well, and so was the panelists, and not everything was shown, but we had a great time. It was lovely.
But 1 year later, it comes out. You're on TV for about 15 minutes. Having a laugh, wanting to win a toaster, not non-serious, made some jokes.
Yeah, because I knew I wasn't going to win because I'm dumb as fuck when it comes to doing stuff under pressure, right?
Yeah.
And also, I'm just a contestant on a TV show for a split second.
Yeah.
Let's face it. So, like, I didn't, like, people have been messaging me saying, oh, you didn't say anything. And I'm like, well, because it wasn't, in my head, it wasn't a big deal. Do you know what I mean? It was, one of the main reasons why I did it was to see as to whether I can, I as a South Asian drag artist can take my drag onto a soundstage. That was genuinely one of the reasons why. It's a tester. Yeah, what does the lighting look like? How am I going to look like? Because nobody's ever done it, to my knowledge, especially the type of drag that I do. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this is kind of like a low risk kind of tester.
Yeah, very low.
To see what I look like on camera.
It feels like no risk.
Yeah, 100%. But I wasn't, I mean, it's great to see all the love and all the support. But it's also kind of wild to see the backlash that it's got. I was expecting back because I had a beard back then.
Yeah.
So like in hindsight, I'm like, oh, the beard's bearding. Like, do you know what I mean? But that was just my drag at the time. So that was, I thought maybe that would cause a bit of repulsion. Like, you know, yeah, we get drag, but what the fuck's this? Do you know what I mean? Or this is a different type of drag. But yeah, go on.
So you got a real backlash, like everywhere. Like it was like wildfire. Like the remarks online about not just a drag queen being on TV, but this drag queen, this particular drag queen cannot be on TV. It was very that you had the racial bias of a backlash was insane. Like, do you want to talk about it a bit? How does it made you feel? What anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, the 90s really are back. Do you know what I mean?
The 90s are so back, but not in the best way.
You see it in fashion, you see it in culture, but then also you see some dark elements as well. Like, yeah, the UK is not what I don't recognize it the same way. It's not the same as what it was 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It's just ever since we've had Brexit, and it's just been this continuous gradual decline in sort of social sensibilities. And so inevitably when the chips are down, you're going to try and pick a scapegoat. And, you know, people of color, minorities, that's just how society works.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You sort of find that. So it's, you know, I'm just sort of the tip of the iceberg in many ways. There's a whole sentiment underneath it. So yeah, it was a little bit bizarre, and of course it is upsetting. It really is. I mean, now I'm in New York, so I feel a little bit far removed from it. But when I'm back in the UK, it'll be a different feeling, right? And it's for me, the issue is not being made to feel welcome in your own motherland.
Yeah.
Because Britain is our motherland, whether you like it or not. It is the country that has given you everything, including being able to be a gay person of South Asian descent living in the Western world.
That's very true.
And I'm forever grateful for it. But there are large sections of Great Britain who do not see you as equal because of your skin color. It is as simple as that.
It really is, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so then that is a constant battle. So like, you know, somebody said, oh, a curry maker's on TV. That they said that about me. A curry maker's on TV.
Wow.
But the nation's favorite food is curry. And I thought we'd moved past that. I thought that, you know, the largest ethnic minority in the UK are South Asians. I thought we'd made sizable contributions. We've even had a South Asian prime minister. Do you know what I mean?
As long as you stay quiet and in the background,
yeah.
So they don't want it.
It just goes to show as to how quickly the cultural shift can happen. Do you know what I mean? Goodness gracious me, it was a prime time show in the 90s. Now I get why it was so important to have something like that in the 90s. So that's kind of been really interesting. I didn't think, oh, you know, somebody else saying, oh, and a Pakistani drag queen's on the TV. I've never referred to myself as Pakistani. I'm British Asian. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of Pakistani descent, or my ethnicity is Pakistani, but I was born and raised in Britain.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize as to how that was so difficult to fathom. And so I didn't even bother responding to it in a, you know, straightforward way, because I know the next response is, well, you're not really English.
Oh yeah, really we've been British. There, we've done that.
No, but we're back.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
We're back to.
We're so back.
And I'm going to take a small break now.
Okay, already.
Yeah. And yours, yeah. And then I do want to talk about how we're back to.
Okay,
that's interesting.
Yeah. We're going to take a little break.
I just said that.
Oh, sorry.
You do this, you know. I'm going to come for you. I say it, and you like. I'm going to say it now.
So I'm going to say it now. I'm joking. Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
You take the break.
That's conflict resolution, everyone. And we are back. So I did want to talk about, you know, like growing up in the 90s in Britain, you know, we had like BNP hard, especially where we came from. What?
BNP, what is that?
Oh.
The kids don't know anymore.
Oh, British National Party.
Yeah. So much time has passed since then.
Long story short, it's a party that is, built on hatred and racism, right?
Yes.
A real far right party who like
that has been banned now, I believe.
Oh god, like we would literally, you'd walk into town centre and you'd have racial abuse thrown at you.
Yeah,
there was so much violence everywhere. There was so much drama. There's so many protests. It was like, don't come out today. That was the 90s, and that was growing up in the 90s. And the fact that is back.
I feel like you're skipping a little bit. The BNP was a British nationalist party, but it was founded in our hometown of Keighley. And it was found in a pub up the road from me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a national party that proclaimed to have Britain's interests at the forefront, which was code for white people only.
Oh, yeah.
So they used to have regular marches, protests that would inevitably end up in riots in town.
Violence.
And, my mum was not able to go out in town because they would all be out, and they would have police all around them, and they would get drunk, and they would be disorderly, and they would do that up and down the country. So that was that time. Now they've become, and then since then we've had Tommy Robinson and the people, regardless of his personal views, we've seen the people who he attracts.
Yes.
And now it's come in a roundabout way with the Reform Party. And once again, they proclaim that they are not racist. They proclaim that they have people of all ethnicities in their party, and that may well be true. But I would argue that the undercurrent or the aftermath of a party like that is going to inevitably be, once again, racial biases, racism, and conflict.
It actually breaks my heart.
Yeah,
it's really.
And these come
I'm getting like chills because it's really sad. I think
to
anyone listening that is like white or hasn't experienced that, like, I've got chills because like you block that out of your mind. You block that part of that upbringing out of your mind. And how people in society would treat you based on the color of your skin, because you don't know. You're like, it's so confusing as a kid.
You're
like, why? Like, I've done nothing wrong. I'm going to town to get my penny sweets and my magazine. Like, why am I suffering this? Do you know what I mean? Why am I not allowed to go out? Things such as that, and the fact that the ideals are coming back, it's really scary. And you made some really interesting points in your recent Pink News article about what you faced on Blankety Blank, and it was about banding together and sticking together, as the queer community and etc. And what really scares me about that is people often go to the loud voices out there who are like racially biased online and the loud ones, but one thing we like to forget is people in our own community are voting as well, and they're voting for these powers, for the far right parties are voted by people in our own LGBTQ plus community. They are voted. We are being voted, against essentially by queer white people, and that's scary.
Yeah, I mean that's the age-old British model: divide and rule. That's how the British Empire operated. You divide and rule, right? So they've been doing that for years and years and years with
different ways
with the LGBT community. So initially it was LGB without the T. So let's get rid of one. Then, as that's been happening, we've had people say, well, gays are gross and blah blah blah. Then we've had the pick me gays saying, we're white, we're normal, we live in barn conversions, and we just want to have a family just like yourselves. Which the reality is, you don't need to assimilate because you're not the same. You will never be accepted on the same level. You will be accepted for being who you are. Do you know what I mean? So we've had them move away. And then now, even on a political level, you see it. Yeah, I mean, there was a promoter who I came across on Facebook who was like, "Oh, in the last elections, I voted vote reform, and I just want to explain why." And a drag.
Wait, what kind of promoter?
A promoter who books drag queens. We have like 25 mutual drag queens as friends. Yeah.
How are you supposed to
saying,
how does that make
well, neither major parties are doing enough and we need to see radical change? And I'm not saying any parties perfect, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, listen, revolution is never clean or linear. I don't think we're at the point where we need a revolution. I think we need to see small incremental changes to help make a big impact. The last time we had anything revolutionary happen was Brexit, and look where that got us. Do you know what I mean?
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
As a drag artist who sees a drag promoter, who has voted reform, and all these mutual drag queen friends who I'm assuming have said nothing about the situation at hand, how does that make you feel?
It doesn't surprise me.
Oh, wow.
I know of drag queens who do vote conservative.
Yeah.
Or they have
right.
They're right leaning.
Yeah.
I know of, racial biases. Listen, okay, let's just say it, right? You see certain things that happen in the public domain, and you see drag queens saying, I've had such a huge racial racist backlash, to the point where there's even like documentaries about it, about drag queens experiencing racism within the fandom, right?
Oh yeah.
So people find their tribe, people pick their tribe, they find people who they resonate with, who they are attracted to, who they can relate to, right?
Yeah.
So not every drag queen is going to speak out against it because they're isolating an audience. It sounds morbid, it sounds sinister. It is, because it is. Do you know what I mean? So like, yeah, you will have conservative drag queens, you will have right-leaning drag queens, you will have drag queens who are anti-immigration. You'll have a huge segment, a huge sector that are pro-immigration, they are pro-racial integration. Absolutely. But yeah, you will, and you do have. I mean, even with the Conservative Party a few years ago in Manchester, when they had their their annual conference, a drag queen performed.
There's such a communication breakdown, though.
Even I was approached.
Yeah, I know.
For I was like, Diva, I ain't getting involved.
Oh no.
But
you going down, stealing my hair.
Yeah, but somebody does do it. So I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it is what it
is. It's tough because you have to accept it. People talk about the right and the left and this and that, and I feel like there's such a breakdown in communication where people just don't sit and talk anymore. It's always this massive, huge fight where it's like, okay, so nobody on the right is allowed down. And I'm going to reference like somewhere like Manchester because we come from there. No one on the right is allowed down Canal Street. All you right-wing people go. But I don't think the left realize you say that you've lost a lot of the drag queens. I didn't say most. A lot of the drag queens, and you've lost a lot of the promoters and the people and stuff like that. But there's no sit-down conversation.
No.
There's no like we grab a drink and we talk. Yeah. That's kind of gone.
Yeah.
So like you can't be radical to get rid of radical.
No. People are being played. People really are being played.
You said that in your article as well, didn't you?
Yeah. People are being played because the chips are down, times are tough, economy is taking a downturn, so on and so forth. So then naturally you have to put the blame somewhere, right? And rather than holding democratically elected governments accountable, you've decided to find a scapegoat. So the scapegoat becomes the Pakistani, even though 5 years ago he was British and he was as English as England is. Do you know what I mean?
The scapegoat becomes Lady Bushra on TV having a bit of fun and saying Homer and host it. And
I'm like, do you not realize that your average reading age in the country is that of an 8 or 9 year old? That's an issue. Do you not realize record number of kids are not in education or employment?
Oh, you remember?
I remember, but these are like, do you not realize how much bills have increased? Do you not realize as to how little spending money people have? Do you not realize how much rent has increased? Do you not realize what the cost of living is? Those are real issues. I'm sorry to say, but a drag queen who was born and raised here and pays taxes is not the issue.
No,
your anger is you're being played. Your anger is completely misplaced.
That's so.
Do you know what I mean? And you see it within the drag community when like they start fighting with each other, and like it's like something somewhere has done. I'm like, girl, there's enough space for everyone. This isn't the we're not the issue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if like say for example, if government funding starts cutting for pride events,
Yeah.
you know, we might start turning on each other, but you don't want to do that because we're not the issue. Do you know what I mean? That's something somewhere else doing, causing all of these problems.
That's very true. I do want to ask you before we wrap up.
Oh.
This is like Blankety Blank untucked. I do want to ask you with everything. Obviously, like, you know, us two are used to being. Maybe we should talk about in the next episode. Us two are used to getting here online. It comes in ups and downs and stuff like that. But with this, you know, you just a few minutes on TV. You know, the moment. Like, how are you feeling mentally about it? How are you coping with it? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm completely fine. I'm completely fine. The one thing that always petrifies me is being recognized on the street.
Yeah.
Like that, like I'm far away from that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm fine. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, fab.
But even here, like
Yeah.
we even went out the other day and people knew who we were,
Yeah,
who I was.
That's fine.
And no, but that always makes me nervous. But everything else doesn't. So yes, it is upsetting to a certain extent as to how people have such visceral hatred towards someone who doesn't look like them. But I'm going to keep on moving forward, and I'll only stop when I die. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, you worry about you, boo, because I cannot be the worst thing that's happened to you. And if seeing me on television is the worst thing to have ever happened to you, then you have lived an incredibly privileged life.
Edit, cut, and put that in the promo.
Thank you.
Period. And amazing.
Yeah. So no, I'm really, really grateful. Like it's been fab. It's been great, and yeah, let's get on Drag Race.
Period. Get wherever you need to get to.
Yeah,
I love you too. I'm so like proud of you the way you're taking all the hatred and actually, this is me. I always have to stop a shady comment.
Yeah,
because like it's the old me. Like I really want to drag.
No, it's the current you.
I'm not going to. I'm going to stay quiet.
Yeah. Do you think I'd be good on Drag Race? I don't think I would be. No.
I don't know if you don't fit the mold.
No,
I mean, they don't want you.
No, it's not that. I just wouldn't fit the mold. No. I don't think I would.
You wear saris, you're branded, you do your comedy. What they're going to do, make you do a girl group. You're going to be like, you're going to do a girl group. I'm going to do Maradala.
Well, my biggest fear is if they ask me to wear like a bodysuit. No. Because they say, oh, no, don't wear a bodysuit. But they all wear bodysuits. Yeah, no. And they have to wear them when they do like a girl group challenge. I don't want to dance.
Well, maybe they just change it into something else for you. If they really like you. You know how they can do anything.
Well, they should make them all do Bollywood.
I agree.
We should do like a curry making class.
Why not? Comma. Period. Anyway, on that note,
thank you so much, everybody, for your love and support. We've had a lot more subscribers.
Yes,
That's been brilliant. I did that thing again, didn't I? And thank you so much for being your gorgeous, awesome, amazing self. And we're gonna we love you, but you don't
love me.